Knoxville363. Today I'm going to be doing a comparison video between the Samsung Galaxy S3 and the brand new Samsung Galaxy S5. Alright, so let's get right into it. I have the S3 over here on my left and the brand new S5 on my right. They pretty much look identical with the exception of the S5 being a slightly larger phone displaying a 5-inch screen. In the Samsung Galaxy S3, I have been corrected now. I acknowledge I made a mistake. It's a 4.8-inch screen, not a 4.52. That would be the Samsung Galaxy S2. Both have the Samsung logo on the top, physical home button on the bottom, along with the menu back buttons. Both have the proximity sensors on the top with a 2-megapixel camera on the front. To switch things up on the back, as you can see, it has a very fingerprint friendly glossy finish backing, and it has a fake leather backing on the S5. On the back of the S5 it has a 16 megapixel HDR camera, and on the Galaxy S3 it has a 8 megapixel full 1080p camera. Both have flash. On the bottom it has your speaker on the S5, and on the very top right here is a speaker on the Galaxy S3. As I hold both phones, they both have their power sleep button on the right hand side, volume rocker on the left hand side, charging ports are on the bottom. Now another mistake I made is it has a USB 3.0 charging port on the S5 and a micro USB charging port on the S3. One thing that I wanted to stand corrected on is you can use old chargers on the S5. I actually tested it out myself. Now one thing you will notice is the S5 charges up in 2 hours. I let my phone completely die just prior to shooting this video at 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. it was fully charged, ready to go for this video. So you will notice a significant difference in reference to charging time. And then on the top, last but not least, let that autofocus kick in there. They both have a 3.5 millimeter head jack. Now let me go ahead and pop the backs off of these phones. Over here on the S5, it is on your left hand side. Once again, it's just another cheap piece of plastic, just a different feel to it. It does feel a little bit more comfortable, and the S3, but most people have cases on their phones, so that shouldn't be a deciding factor. If I go ahead and pop these back covers off, the Galaxy S3 has a 2100 milliamp battery that's rated for 9 hours of talk time. On the S5 it has a 28 milliamp battery rated for 21 hours of talk time. Now I have been using the S5 just a tad bit more since I bought it, just to give it a relative good eval in reference to battery life. I'm still not that impressed with it. It is a larger size battery. Is it better than the S3? Yes. Is it significantly better to the point where I would say that it's the best battery I've ever had in my phone? No, you're going to see a lot of it get worn down over time. And eventually, like this battery on my S3 needs to be replaced because of the amount of times I've charged it. Batteries can only hold so many charges, and eventually they lose their I guess shelf life to the point where they need to be replaced. As I'm holding both of these phones, they both have a very comfortable feel in your hand. I really wish that the S5 would have more incorporated the S3 design with the rounded edges instead of bringing back the Galaxy S2 kind of look where it's more squared off. Both very lightweight phones. Even I just bought a case today for my S5, which I'll cover later on in this video, and they're still both extremely light. They're not heavy devices, which is always a plus. Another thing I thought I'd mention is, see how they have these ridges now on the S5? I know it probably looks really nice on camera, but in person it just looks extremely cheap. I wish they would have kept this brushed look this brushed chrome that they had on the S3. To me, it just makes the phone look a lot nicer. Once again, it's going to be covered up when you put a case on your phone. At the current moment, Boost Mobile only offers both of these devices in the color white. I was really hoping that they would switch it up and maybe give the S5 the ability, I don't know, make it black, blue, just something to change things up, because every single one of the Galaxy devices offered from Boost Mobile is only available in white. Both are on the 4G LTE network, which is always a plus. I don't know why they went with the WiMAX network on the Galaxy S2. I thought that was a pretty poor decision, considering that was outdated already. But then that they decided to release it anyways. Now, one thing that's noted on their website is the S5 is 4G slash enhanced LTE. What enhanced means, I don't know. I don't know if they're doing work on their towers to give you even faster speeds, but I don't know. I didn't really look too much into it. I just thought I would note that. Both of these have 2 gig of RAM and 16 gig of ROM. As far as processors go, that was another huge upgrade from going from the S3 to the S5. The S3 has a 1.5 gigahertz dual core, and the S5 sports a 2.5 gigahertz quad core. Will you see a difference? I'll run through some tests here really quick. First one I will do is powering on each phone, and they're powered on. When I was doing some web browsing, obviously I'm using my Wi-Fi network at home. You will notice that the S5 does load up a little bit faster, and the S3 sometimes loads up faster. So to say, now see, I'm already in the S5 and I'm still waiting on the S3. So that's just one test that you can see how much faster the S5 loads up. You could already be making a phone call, and there you have it. Now it's still loading up, and there you go. So that right there, that's just a good test to show you guys how much faster the S5 boots up than the S3.